Bizarre is the name given by incuriosity to asymmetrical courage in a niche. By juxtaposition, the same class of hibernating impulses grants the primary sense concept, beauty, no foothold beyond the mountain of safely sanctioned spectacle. The cessation of analysis and the fear of truth hold their perspiring hands together, sealing the deal of their mutual defaults by stopping at a name which is simultaneously a premature objectification and a reinforcing delusion. Indifference to reality fundamentally disconcerts the being who carries it, a paradox manifested as a self-limiting web of law untempered by investigation. Thus, it is a closed circuit. The blessing and curse of law is that it carries the function burden of acknowledging friction or creating it. A universe sans friction would make law an absurdity, and investigation the perpetual ideal par excellence, as smooth and freewheeling as ice skating through and around an insatiable sphere. If investigation is boundless will and law is enmeshed boundary, then in the highest possible metaphorical sense, the first transcends one's conception of everything, and the second is a calcification. In the same way that inert tools require the counterbalancing virtue of flexibility for maximum wisdom ushering by the broadest possible swath and the deepest possible adherence and integrity to design, purpose, and loci of the tool in question, so a wild and unbridled force, high on its own momentum, has to be stilled once in a while if one is to evaluate and answer to the question, what in the wake of the scheme of things? In a perfect world, law and investigation would perpetually inform one another. But in the current world, humans have undercut efficacy with concepts by neglecting to imbue objects and laws with an imagination of their own. That is, as humans have become accustomed to using ideas as soldiers in the quest for order, they have forgotten the design potential, shout out to Buckminster Fuller, everywhere inherent in the universe, and thus have pawned their imaginations for a stilted, though bendable, shadow of infinite freedom. The gravest mistake is to forget that life is everywhere. As for information overload, here is a thought. Slow time down to the speed of your own thought, and all is equally harnessable. To manage and still reality in one's own mind is to pause long enough to cultivate wings. The precondition for speed, breadth, and depth of thought is first to settle one's feet upon the landscape of mind. Only those who look can see. True wealth is the excavation of reality.